Okay. Factor by grouping, it's called. When I just say the name, so this is what we can notes. Notes 2, 3. When I say factor by grouping, does that bring? Do you know what I'm talking about? Anybody? You should have learned it in algebra 2. Maybe once you see it, watch. This is called factor by grouping. So it'll be a pretty easy lesson. Okay, this by grouping, because you should have already learned this in the past. Okay, factor by grouping. So here's what the problems look like. 3x cubed. We will be, so we're adding, now I'm gonna teach you like if you didn't know, okay, so don't worry, I'm just gonna teach it from scratch. But this is a skill we'll be using the rest of the year as well. It's another tool that we'll have in our repertoire. Okay, before I teach you by grouping, okay, again, let me connect it. Guys, if you can do this, math becomes easier and you'll do better on stuff. You start to connect it. Look, the biggest degree, the biggest power wins. That means this is a cubic function, right? And it's positive in the front. So I know before I even start doing anything, I know what this will look like. It's gonna look like that, okay? I want you to be able to do that. I'm showing you how to do it. I also know the y-intercept just by glancing at that. Because look at the math, super easy. Let's put a 0 in our mind. Here, here, and here. What's 0 cubed? 0. What's 0 times 3?
0.
What's 0 squared? 0 times 6? 0 times 4? Only numbers left. That's your y-intercept. Okay. See how fast that is? Okay. So once you know how to do it, you can extract that real quick. Okay, anyways, done with that. Okay, so let me show you by grouping. Okay, so with grouping, the first step is, I'm gonna write it as steps. Step 1, make 2 groups. Is it bringing memories back yet or no? Oh, by the way, I forgot to say this. When we give you a test or a quiz, we don't say, hey guys, here's factor by grouping problems, and here's difference by square. So what's different about this problem than all the other ones that we did? I know it's obvious, but I just need you to.
It's
4 terms, and that's exactly right, okay? So we know when it's grouping because it has 4 terms. That's how you tell them apart. So you see 4 terms, as might as well say it's a factor by grouping problem. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is you GCF both groups. We're gonna do GCF on this one, GCF on that one. Okay. Which, by the way, I forgot to ask you again, but there is no GCF in the beginning on this. There's nothing that goes into all of those. You can divide these 3 by 2 and these 3 by x, but there's nothing you can take out of all 4. Okay, so no GCF. Okay, so let's do the individual GCFs. What can I take out of this one?
3x squared.
Very good, 3x squared. Okay. That's what they have in common. So I'm gonna take out a 3x squared, and then, so you're dividing, and remember the x's, you're subtracting. So x to the 1 power and 2. Because the x's you're subtracting. 3 minus 2 is 1. 2 minus 2 is 0. Is that okay so far? Okay, what's the GCF on the second group? 4, right? This, so you're gonna divide by 4. Now if you divide by 2, they both divide by 2, but it's not the biggest, greatest common factor. Everybody okay so far? Now it's the bringing back memories, or no? You kind of remember? Yeah, okay. I see more heads now shaking this. Okay, step 3. And these are completely unofficial steps. This is how I do it. Really. Both parentheses. Is that how you spell it? Should be identical. If you did the GCF correctly, okay, these two will always be exactly the same. If you mess up, and it's actually a way to check yourself, because if you get different ones, that means you messed up. Either you didn't do GCF or your signs were wrong or something. Okay, everybody good up to that point? This next part is usually where students kind of get lost, so I need you to watch up here real quick, okay? This is like a giant term, it's one term now, and that's one term, okay? So think of that as two terms, this big term and this big term. They both have something in common. I circled it in purple. They both have this in common, okay? So because they have that in common, I can GCF what they have in common. I can take out what they have in common, okay? So just like I would take out an X, let me do it in purple so it matches. I can take out X plus 2. Because they both have it in common. So if I take it out, that means those are not there no more. Because I took them out. And then whatever's left over, that makes your other binomial. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your final answer for this. Now, just from experience, when I've taught this in the past, when I do GCF of that, some students don't get it because it's like too much. So if it doesn't make sense to you, it's just this. Whatever's the same, write it down once. And then erase those, and whatever's left, that's your other answer. That's basically what happened. Okay, any questions right now? Okay, these are the easy kind of these. Okay, so let's make sure we get all the class successful with these first. And then we'll go to the ones that are a little bit harder than that. Okay? So, let me separate